Hello everybody, welcome back to Point Zero Games. This is Josh, and today we are joined by Mr. Patrick Cosgrove. Patrick, tell everybody what's up.
Hi there.
Hi. So we're going to be looking at Patrick's Rakdos-colored Minotaurs deck today. First off, Patrick, about how much does this deck cost to make?
Startup cost is extremely low. You're talking under 20 bucks. That is without any dual lands, without any heavy prime removal. And even the removal you'll see that you end up using is relatively inexpensive, save for a couple. Right? You've mainly got an army of commons and uncommons all the way up to here at the end, and then even most of your big power cards are uncommon and common drops.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with the creature base. Tell us what we're looking at, why you've got these cards in the deck.
Alrighty, more or less everything here is there to curve out, right? You've got Gnarled Scarhide at 4 of because he's a 1-drop, 2/1 Minotaur. Yeah, he can't block, but that is okay because the strategy behind this deck is not block, it is turn dude sideways, win game.
Okay.
So a 2/1 body for 1 mana, super good. Moving straight into Deathbellow Raider, 2/3 body that has to attack, so he encourages your strategy. And he's got regeneration just in case you happen to draw an empty hand and need him to come back to life.
Okay.
Moving on to Fellhide Petrifier. This is at a 2 of just because its global ability is super good, but he's also a relatively large target. So he's a 2 of just to not waste space for the most part.
Okay.
Moving on to Ragemonger. Now this we keep it a 3 of because he's essential. This is hoping you don't get board wiped 3 times. He's a 2/3 body for 1 black, 1 red, and he lowers all the cost of all of your Minotaurs by 1 black, 1 red. That does not lower it by uncolored mana, only red and black, but you're going to see how that plays out here in a minute.
Okay.
Moving on to Rageblood Shaman, this is a must-have if you're going to do this, but luckily they're like $1.50, so that's good news. Gives all other Minotaurs you control +1/+1, and they have Trample. He has Trample himself. Right, he's 1.
No other Minotaur creature. Oh, yeah. He already has Trample. Okay, gotcha.
I know what I'm doing here.
Okay, hey, I was just saying. I didn't read.
Moving on to Oracle of Bones, something that you don't see in a lot of the other Minotaur decks out there. I, however, think he is super good for reasons that you are soon to see. He's a 3/1 body with haste, and if they don't pay tribute, you get to cast an instant or a sorcery from your hand without mana cost.
And he's a 4-drop, right?
Yeah, he's a 4-drop, but with your Ragemonger out, he becomes a 3-drop.
Okay.
If you've got 2 Ragemongers out, he's a 2-drop.
Okay.
And that's not hard. Moving on to the Rural Powerhouse, this is your Kragma Warcaller, right? And you can drop him 4th turn as long as you curve out with a Ragemonger first. That gets rid of his dual-colored mana cost, and he's just a 3-drop. And all Minotaur creatures you control have haste, and whenever they swing, they get +2/+0. So
okay.
he makes everything go from kind of to, oh my god, please don't hit me anymore.
So that's our basic creature base, and then moving in, we've also got the Magus as a 1 of. Why at a 1 of?
Deicide's a thing. Not only that, he's expensive for the deck at 4 mana cost.
Okay.
I mean, despite the fact that he looks like a Minotaur, he's technically not, so I can't reduce that cost any. So we keep him at a 1 of because.
And just basically good aggro deterrent.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's gonna hit his required devotion relatively quick in this, right?
Okay.
And even if he doesn't, he's an enchantment that makes a clock happen, and clocks are good things.
Okay.
All right. Next, we're going on to 2 Dictates of the Twin Gods, one that you don't see very often, but it works in this. You're never going to cast this preemptively. This is always flashed in if you have the open mana. With Kragma Warcaller and Rageblood Shaman, these Minotaurs hit for gigantic amounts of damage after this gets flashed in. You can literally end the turn 5th turn.
Okay.
End the game 5th turn, right? Moving on to our removal package, well, kind of. This is Mizium Mortars, it kills Blood Baron, that is why it is here. Moving on.
Okay.
Guild, because it's awesome. It is an exile, which gets around indestructible, and it gives you mana. That cannot be bad.
Okay.
Moving on to Flurry of Horns. Flurry of Horns is in here at a 2 of because it's expensive as all get out. However, this is where your Oracle of Bones comes in. If they don't pay tribute, getting this off for free is game-changing. If they do not have a response to you getting 3 Minotaurs on the field for 4 mana, that can end the game very quickly. They are
or even 2 mana.
Or even 2 mana. Yeah, exactly. If you can drop them for even cheaper, then so be it. 3 bodies with haste that can be affected by Cragmaw Warcaller and Rageblood Shaman is too good to ignore.
Okay.
Moving on to the real, actual, factual removal package, we've got 3 of Hero's Downfall because it's Hero's Downfall and it kills everything. And we've also got 2 of Unfaded Conflagration. If it's played during your turn, Scry 2 helps in this, because drawing mana after you start hand vomiting is never a good thing. You want to be able to keep playing your dudes. So scrying helps. Not only that, but once again, going back to Oracle of Bones, 5 damage, that is your average Planeswalker.
Yeah.
In fact, like, I think 1 Planeswalker in Standard currently doesn't die to a Faded Conflagration.
Yeah, okay.
And that's why it's there. Silence the Believers is...
a card that I made you a believer of.
Yes, yes. No, I hated it at first because it was so expensive. But late game, 7 mana to exile 2 things and 2 of all of their little auras that they thought were going to help them out is just too awesome. I love it.
Plus it gets rid of bestows.
It gets rid of, yeah, no, exactly. It gets rid of bestows, so, you know, to heck with your...
Flashy Boon Satyrs.
Yeah, your flashy Boon Satyrs.
Sure.
Eidolon of Countless Math.
Was this considered a target? Enchantment? Was this considered a target?
Yes.
I didn't know. You didn't say target.
Moving on.
Moving on. 4 Temples of Malice. Once again, scrying helps you get your dudes, right?
Okay.
You don't want to be drawing too much mana. Moving on, we've got 9 swamps and 11 mountains for our mana base. It brings it up to 23 land. I know 23 is kind of light, but other than your enchantments, everything here is exceedingly cheap. I know you saw some big numbers in here, but that's why Ragemonger exists. Because despite that this is a 3-drop with 2 hard red, it could be a 2-drop with 1 hard red. This could be a 3-drop with 1 hard red. And this is just a straight-up colorless 3-drop, right? And not to mention, you can do things like drop 1 of these and then another one for 1, followed up by a 2-drop Oracle of Bones.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely helps to lower your mana curve just with having the Ragemonger.
Well,
so I guess the question would be, if it helps that much, why are we keeping it at a 3 of, not at a 4 of?
Well,
just not really anything else you can find a...
Other than the fact that he reduces costs, he doesn't do a whole lot else. He's a 2/3 body,
okay,
and he's a target, all right?
Okay.
So you don't keep him at 4 of, because by the time they've killed him 3 times, you should already... It's either they take out this guy, or they take out your Oracle, they take out your Rageblood, or they take out your Kragma.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many people target this guy instead of these 3.
Right, sure.
I mean, yes, he reduces cost, but that's all he does.
Sure.
I mean, after I've already used him, if he dies, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do some questions here real quick. So the removal package is actually a bit heavier than most would end up expecting, and you've got a lot of answers for a lot of things in there.
That's the idea.
What type of decks, when you play this, what type of decks are giving you the biggest amount of problems?
Blitz aggro gives me a problem early game. I can stop most of their aggro if I get past turn 4. Right? When it comes to blitz aggro, they're throwing 1, 2, 3 guys and then Titan strengthening the crap out of them in order to get damage through. But I can start throwing 2, 3 bodies in the way. I can start throwing even larger bodies in the way. The great thing about Minotaurs is, while they are very, very fast Rakdos style aggro, they have the ability to go mid-range. That's the important part. Is you can completely save up everything and go with 5 mana drops all day long and do just as well.
Okay.
Like I've gone up against Orzhov mid-range. We both had to go mid-range. I ended up winning because, yes, Obsidat hits hard. I hit harder.
Okay.
Right, that's the idea. The removal package is solid. There are a few things. I didn't bring my sideboard today, so I'll go over that real quick with you. I do run a 2-of on Slaughter Games in my sideboard.
Okay.
I run a 2-of on Dreadbore. I know it's sorcery speed. Don't give me any crap.
Yeah. Still removal.
It's still removal. I mean, but it's good. I do run an extra 1-of on Rageblood in there.
Okay.
I run a pair of Whips of Erebos.
Okay.
and I run a couple of Titan Strength.
Okay.
The extra scry, the extra damage, just in case I don't start drawing guys. If they don't have a whole lot of creatures, for example, if it's Azorius Control, I will side out these Mizium Mortars and gladly put in Titan Strength.
Okay.
I'm not going to be removing creatures anyway.
Okay. What decks are you seeing that you perform against the strongest?
Mono Green Devotion?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that they get things out that are really big, really fast, I have a removal package.
Okay.
They tend to, focus on their mana ramp really, really, really early game. Meanwhile, I'm focusing up on getting a force that looks at Pelucranos and Lighthouse.
And what about a control setup? Like how when you're going against the control decks?
It all depends. Mono Black Devotion is really control-y, and well, these days it is. I have a hard time.
Yeah.
I have a hard time versus that. They're not running Doomblade anymore, so all of my black critters are still very, very viable targets. And it's hard to keep up with Gary's life bane or
Gray merchants. Yeah.
Yeah, Gary and me don't get along.
Okay.
Azorius Control, I actually do not have a big problem with. I can start swinging for lethal by 4th turn, and that's before they can throw a Supreme Verdict. So.
Okay. All right. How many iterations has the deck gone through so far?
This is Minotaurs 2.5.
2.5?
2.5.
So we're looking at what, like 3 separate iterations that you've been through on it so far?
I don't count the more or less the rough draft of it as one. So yeah, like 4 or 5.
Okay. What kind of success have you seen with the deck? Has it done fairly well?
I have never gone negative. I go 2-2, 3-1, or 4-0.
How about at F&M? Has it done fairly well there?
That is what I'm talking about. I have been to the top 4 with this at F&M.
So
it was only once, but I've been there.
So it was a top 4 deck.
It was a top 4 deck. It will run. It does have legs, and it is able to hang in there with the big boys. But you kind of have to draw a nut's hand. I'm not gonna lie.
What would be an optimal opening hand looking at this?
More or less, you just want to get your curve, right? Now you can trade out either of these two, right? But this is what you want to be seeing, is these 4 and enough mana to play them.
Okay.
You at that point, you really don't even want to see your Temples of Malice come in. You want to see just good old-fashioned red and black mana. Because if you play him 1st turn, followed up by him 2nd turn, swing 2, throw him out there 3rd turn, that's 6. And then if you're able to drop that 3rd turn, followed up by that for 5th turn, I mean, we're talking 5, 10, 15, and 20.
All right. I'm a believer. I am a believer.
It has worked. You do have to get kind of lucky with it from time to time. It has failed pretty epically from time to time.
Oh, but don't all of us.
Yeah. And then there's other times that, I get to flash and Dictate of the Twin Gods and hit people for 80. That happened.
Okay. Sure.
That's numbers.
That seems... Okay. What turn was that on?
8.
Turn 8. Okay, turn 8, 80 damage. All right.
Pretty sick.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad that this has been successful. A very unique deck, an interesting deck, something that we don't see a ton of in the standard. And like you said, it's a budget deck. It doesn't even cost that much to be able to make. Like, even with the Hero's Downfalls and the Malice, I mean, you're still not looking at a whole hell of a lot.
No, I mean, Temple of Malice is only, what, $5 right now?
Yeah, something like that. Mizium Mortar. I think Mizium Mortar, Hero's Downfall, and Temple of Malice are probably the 3 that are expensive in here. Even the Mogus is down to like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, and to be honest, the first iteration of the deck, the one that went 4-0, didn't even have a Mogus in it. It didn't have Mizium in it either. And it did not have Downfalls. I was running Doomblades, I was running Titan Strength, and I was running a Whip of Erebos, and I was running 2 main-boarded Slaughter Games.
You don't have Doomblades anymore. Hey, Nathan. What do you say about Doomblades?
Creature dies Doomblade, it's a terrible card.
Okay. Maybe you should put Doomblades back in.
Maybe I should put Doomblades back in.
All right. Well, hey, Patrick, thank you very much for talking to us today.
Oh, anytime.
Showing us the Minotaurs deck. If you guys want to see more from us, by all means, hit subscribe down in the bottom left hand of the video area there. Also, give us some likes because we like you guys too. And last but not least, make sure you answer the comment question. Let us know what kind of deck tech you want to see us doing. Next week, I believe we have it scheduled to look at a Cleansing Control Azorius deck with Cody Adams. So make sure you stick around for that. This is Josh over .0 Games on behalf of Patrick Cosgrove. Have a good day.